right, stand by. Countdown coming to show start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fade up.
I don't know if filmmakers ever die or retire. They just keep going. And I'm still at it. My parents named me Christine Joy because I was born for Christmas. So I'm hoping that I was a surprise as well as a joy in her life. My father was a chaplain at Mid-Pacific Institute, and my mother she worked at Aloha Airlines. I was the youngest child of 4, and I used to sit under the living room table and watch TV. Television is perfect for someone like me. You know, I was a lover of history. My first job in television was at Hawaii Public Television. I was hired there as a student technician. So at first it was quite intimidating, but once you understood what everybody did, it became much more fun. I knew at that point in time that's what I wanted to do for a living. There were hardly any women directors. It's been my family for the last 40-something odd years, and I really cherish the whole concept of public television because I think it really gives voice to a lot of subject matter and people that normally are not featured on commercial television or entities.
You always knew she was there. She had a very, very strong presence.
My career has been focused on Hawaiian history, meaning the history of not only the native Hawaiian people, but also the immigrants and those that came to Hawaii to find a better life. Canefield songs told the story of the Japanese immigrants that came to Hawaii to work on the cane fields. The work was hard, the pay was terrible. What are you going to do? You sing. I would encourage new filmmakers to remember their history and don't assume that people know about it, and to talk to their families to find about the stories. And you'll be really surprised, because a lot of times it's either too painful for them or they just don't think it's important. It's important to continue the documentation because it'll get lost.
Kapa was one of these things that, not because it was any militant kind of thing, but it was one of the things, one of our arts that had been completely lost. Go with the negative and the positive space and telling them what you don't put in has just as much weight as what you do. The empty space is just as important as the black space.
I worked on and I'm still working on a local television show called Rice and Roses. Every week, we would scramble, go out into the community, tape and edit together stories about working people in Hawaii. And that's always been my love, getting the perspective of ordinary people. What I found out is their stories were incredible.
It's a story about Hawaii and a plantation lifestyle which no longer exists. And it's a tribute to a man, Coach Soichi Sakamoto, and those remarkable...
This was in the 1930s, and he took them to the mainland. They won national championships, and they were ready to go to the Olympics. But unfortunately, the Olympics were canceled because of World War II. I realized how little I know, and that nobody is necessarily the bad guy or the good guy. When I'm on set, I'm looking at the monitor because obviously that's what the camera's going to see.
Whenever I would turn around, I would see Joy as the director. I would see her back because what she was doing was staring into the monitor to make sure that the shot was staying consistent in the way that we wanted it and would be useful for her when she was editing.
She deals with people in the most wonderful ways. She's probably the best live director in the state. She's probably done more live television directing than almost anyone, unless there's somebody in one of the news stations that does the nightly news.
And when she sits in the director chair, she's aware of everything going on.
Insights on PBS Hawaii is a live television show that's broadcast weekly. So what's fascinating about doing live television is that you have to time everything. It's like a symphony orchestra. You have many people working behind the scenes, and so you have to have a language that everybody understands. Instead of waving a baton, it's all done over a headset. As an editor of almost all of my projects, I felt that it was just as important as being out in the field. It's fun, but it's arduous at the same time, and it really does take a lot of time. I love to listen to music. I settled on the drums because I like rhythm. And so being an editor, it kind of helps. Don't give up. It takes a while to get the experience. And you never end getting experience, but that's part of the fun of it all. Do you regret anything, Joy? No, I don't think so. I don't think you should live your life regretting. And I've been really blessed to have a career that was supported by my family and a career that was fulfilling and is still fulfilling. And my only hope was that I benefited humankind in some way. And I hope that's the truth.
Of a world with peace, a world without war. This is the story of the awakening of the human spirit.
There's some part of Kapa that is in my life.
Find a career that you know you will enjoy, and when you get up in the morning every day, pop out of bed and just do what you're supposed to be doing and enjoying life. If you feel the passion to do this, keep going. You're going to have some rough roads ahead, but let me tell you, it's going to be worth it.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stand by, please. We have 30 seconds left to the program. 30 seconds. In 3,